ever published a Power BI report and thought, technically the numbers are right, but something about it still feels amateur? It's usually not your data, it's a handful of design habits that almost everyone trips over at first. In this video, I'm walking through 5 of those mistakes, and each one is a quick fix that you can apply today. Stay for mistake number 4, because that is the chart type that traps people up day after day. I still see it in the working places, and fixing it is the fastest way to make your story read clearly in a meeting. Hey, I'm Arlen, and welcome to Data with Arlen. I'll have a deliberately messy dashboard on the screen in a second where we'll clean it up, the color, the clutter, the titles, the chart choices, and the formatting so you can see the differences side by side. Let's get started. Okay, I am now sharing Power BI. I've created a report with the sample data set that I will provide you in the description. You can also get access to the setup file that gives you all the instructions on how to set up these sample pages. And you can follow along as I go through this particular video. Now, if you're not sure what to learn next on the path to data analyst work, I've put together a free data analyst career roadmap. The link is in the description. Just click on that to get access to it. All right, now we're on to mistake number 1. Too many colors. Now, Power BI loves to give every category a lot of times its own bright color, but on a busy page, this can read like noise. Or if you have a large chart like this one, this is just messy. It's not insight, and it just can distract from what you're trying to visualize. So for most business dashboards, you want to keep a tight color palette, often just one primary color, neutral, and then maybe some accents from that main color. Now, what I want to do here, as you see, we've got all of these different colors, which just does not look right. One of the common things that you can do with charts is you can select one of your main colors from your color palette and then do a gradient. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to edit this. I'm going to go into the more options section. I'm going to go into the visual settings. I'm going to go into bars. And then right now you see it's set for blue to be the default color. The other colors are off, as you see. Now, if we go ahead and we go into the conditional formatting, what we're going to do is select gradient. I've already actually gone ahead and selected this. And if we set the sum of sales to be a gradient, we can do that here. And all you have to do is click OK. You can set sum of sales or any one of your measures, and then have the lowest value be typically a lighter version of that same color. In this case, it's a lighter version of the blue. Of course, the highest value is the darker version. And then when you click OK, it updates it automatically. And so you see the larger value here of sales. In this case, in March, is the highest value of sales has the darker color, and it gets lighter as it goes down. So this is one of the best ways to manage a messy, ugly color palette, and if you got too many colors. Now, on to mistake number 2. That is a cluttered canvas. So I think right away you can just tell there's too much on this page. Now, more charts doesn't necessarily mean more clarity. Now, if everything is important, that's fine, but you still need to limit what's displayed because it can be too much noise and it's too busy. So just pick what belongs in the first view. So in a chart like this, I would try to probably reduce this to only the ones that are really relevant to what it is that I'm showing. So we've got 6 charts here. So what I would probably do in this case is get rid of maybe at least 2 of them, resize it. It's fine to have maybe 4 charts as long as they are relevant. As you can see, the bottom 2 have to do with the products. The top 2 have to do with the sales and by month and by region. So as you see, those are related. We can easily resize them. And again, this is something we can also provide the same update that we did on that first screen to this one here if we wanted to. Instead of having the solid blues, we can do gradients or choose another color from our main color palette. So we went from 6 charts to 4. Even if you didn't want to have this many, you could do 2. Maybe we wanted to just focus on the product stats. We could just have these 2. So that is one way to reduce a cluttered canvas and screen. All right, now on to mistake number 3. That is no clear story in the header. So people really shouldn't have to guess what it is that they're looking at, whether this is revenue, whether it's pipeline, sales, or last week's snapshot. So you want to give the page a name and make each chart say what it is. So as you see, there's no name here. Maybe we would like to call this a specific name. So I'm going to go ahead and do a text box here, add it to the top. Typically text boxes for titles can go at the top left or right, maybe even in the middle if you like. And for this one, it's going to be, I want to highlight that this is really just the Q1 regional sales snapshot. So I'm going to paste that in here, grab that from another screen. I'm going to resize this, make this a little bit larger. And there we have it. Looks a lot better. We know what we're looking at. And then here, typically when you create charts, Power BI is going to give it a default name. It's really just going to show what it is, what actually it is, sum of profit by month. But you don't necessarily have to say sum of profit by month. We can maybe just reduce this to say profit by month or profit by region, just to simplify it. We don't necessarily need to say sum. You can, but I would say for the sake of simplicity, you can do that. Now you just click on the chart. You would go into the editing settings, and I'm going to just remove sum of, and we're just going to call this profit by month. We're going to do the same thing with this chart, profit by region. Makes it a little bit more simpler, a lot easier to read, and easier for the user to digest. All right, we're on to mistake number 4, the wrong chart type. So here's, in this particular chart here, I used a pie chart to show the sales across months. So March, April, February, January, and it's broken out on the percentage of sales and the totals of a whole. Pies, typically pies can work for parts of a whole at a single point in time. It's not customary to use a pie chart for a span of time. So this is really a weak choice for a trend. Now for a trend, the best thing to do would be to use a line chart. Anytime you're trying to display data over a period of time, you cannot go wrong with a line chart. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to go ahead and select this. I'm going to go into more options, and we've got this selected now. I'm just going to go into more options actually. There we go. Okay. And one of the things that we can do here, because we already have the chart selected here, we can go ahead and switch this to another value. I'm going to go ahead and close this selection box. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Okay, so I've gone ahead and to show all of the other chart options, you need to make sure that the build option is selected, or else it won't appear in your little widget area. So now I've got the build section shown. You see we've got pie chart selected. I'm going to go ahead and switch this to a line chart. And so as you see, this is a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and make this bigger. You see we've got the line chart. The only thing I'm going to do is typically, of course, we read from left to right. It's going from March to January. It should be the other way around. So you can typically just go here, change the sort access to ascending, and then it's going from January to March from left to right. So this is a lot better. Of course, it's the same metric that was shown in the pie chart, but now the trend is obvious. This line chart is easy to tell what's going on across a span of time. We see that the sales are increasing, going from left to right, going from January to March. Now, on to mistake number 5, inconsistent formatting. Mixed title sizes, random fonts, mismatched padding. Now this just signals I threw this together. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you match your title treatment across the visual so the page feels like one report, not 4 pasted charts. So we've got 2 different sizes, which is not good. I'm going to go ahead and reduce these to give us a little bit more room in our canvas. We'll close this filter down and we'll go ahead and minimize the data here. So as you see, we've got a small chart here. I'm going to resize this, change this to maybe something like this. This doesn't have to be as large. So there's still formatting was just off. We had two different charts here, and you see the title on both of these is a different font size. Big mistake. So let's say you had two, you want to make sure everything is consistent. So you see that this title is a certain size. You want to make sure that the other one is going to be the same thing. So you're going to go ahead and go into the editing option. We go into the title, and you just want to go ahead and increase it so it matches up with the other one. And so this is close. Of course, you can go into it to see exactly the font size, but I've gone ahead and pretty much matched it up by eyeballing it. You can also, of course, here, this is another example of we're missing a title here. A lot of the pages that we talked about don't have title. So you can go ahead and add a title by clicking on the checkbox and give it a title. Drag this up or add it to wherever you really want to add it on the page. Go ahead and pull this up here, and we can just say sales stats, just for the sake of this, stats. And you can be more specific if you like, of course, depending on the purpose or your stakeholder. And you always want to make sure it has a clear title. So this is something that you definitely want to make sure you clean up. You don't want to make it look like you just threw your chart together. Now, just a quick recap. We've done 5 fixes. Number 1, there was a calming of the color palette. Number 2, we cut the clutter and enlarged what really matters. Number 3, we added a real page title. And we did that on several pages and specific chart titles. Number 4, we matched the chart type to the actual question. We changed that pie chart to a line chart, because that made more sense over time. And then number 5, as we look here, we made the formatting consistent across the visuals. We matched the font type and the size, and you want to make sure you do that. So do those, and your next dashboard will feel really a tier above, and not just like you learned Power BI yesterday. So if you apply this on your next report, you should be able to walk into a review with something that looks intentional, not just accurate. That is a real skill, and now you have it. Now, if this video has helped you, and I genuinely hope it did, hitting subscribe is the one thing that you can do that makes the biggest difference for this channel right now. We are building the data crew from ground up, and if you are here, you are already a part of it. Every single subscriber tells YouTube that this content is worth showing to more people who need it. It is completely free. It just takes a second, and I promise you I'll never waste your time. Now, next up, you can check out our next video where we'll be going through 3 Power BI features you're not using now, but you should be. Once the layout is clean, those are the moves that save time and make you faster in the tool. Now, the link is in the screen right now. Go ahead and check it out, and I'll see you there.